To everyone here today, welcome. On 15 November 1967, X-15 pilot U.S. Air Force Major Michael Adams lost his life in the crash of the No. 3 research aircraft in this rocket plane program. The accident occurred in the skies above us here today. When the aircraft broke apart, the forward fuselage came to rest near where this memorial now stands. The monument is a testament to Adams, the only pilot lost while flying the X-15. In May 2004, Eagle Scout candidate John Bodylski created the original monument here to Mike Adams, the concrete cylinder topped by the Inconel X panel dedicated to Mike. Many members of Mike's family were on hand that day, as we have today as well, to see the original dedication, as was X-15 pilot Bill Dana. I would like to ask for any members of our audience who are members of Mike's family or who participated in the X-15 program to raise your hand to be recognized by those of us here today.
Hey.
Thank you all for your work. Thank you very much for coming. You came down from Sacramento, correct? And you came from Louisiana? Okay, so thank you very much for coming down here today. Yes. And way back in the back. Yes. Yes. And the X-15 guys who made it all possible. We got Vince Capasso here, and Charlie Baker, and there we go. And Dave Stoddard, where are you, Dave? Ah, there you are, hiding back in the back. Cool. Hi, Dave. So thank you all for your work and dedication to the program. Since the original dedication, the site has been expanded significantly. Today we see the new area, which includes larger and more informational display panels, as well as the large X to commemorate all the X-planes that have furthered our knowledge of air and spaceflight. Rob Enriquez has led the expansion and designed what we see here today. Bob Klein was responsible for the printing of the display panels that I created and for getting OC Printing Company to donate the printing, which will hopefully stand the test of time here in the harsh desert environment. We can also see the small mementos left by visitors who have paid their respects to the fallen astronaut. Each time I visit, I am always touched by these tributes to Mike's memory. Most important, the reason we are here today is to recognize the fact that 50 years have now passed since that fateful day, and on that anniversary we want to take the time to honor Mike, to reinforce his memory, to help convey the story of the X-15. We also want to aid people in their understanding of what happened on that tragic day. Mike was the last X-15 pilot brought onto the program, joining the team on 14 July 1966. He flew 7 research flights before the events of 15 November 1967. On that final flight, Mike flew to 266,000 feet above the Earth, surpassing 50 miles of altitude and earning his astronaut wings. These wings are depicted as part of the Inconel X panel installed atop the monument. He left behind a wife, Frida, and 3 children, Brent, Lise, and Mike Jr. I spoke to Frida many years ago, along with his 2 sons, a decade ago, while researching my book on the X-15. I can tell you that even though 50 years have now passed, they all still feel the loss of Mike to this day. Besides the original monument created by John Bodylski, much of what you see around us today was from the hard work of Rob Enriquez and several people who have helped him over the last decade. With that, I would like to turn this over to Rob to say a few words.
Good morning. Thank you for everybody to come out. What a great day. I'm glad to see everybody out here today to come out here and pay a tribute to Major Adams and all of his success. And can't even imagine the things that go through a pilot's mind when they're flying an X-15. We can only imagine, but amazing. There's a lot of people here that wanted to be here today that I know of, and they couldn't make it for one reason or another. But they're thinking of us right now, and they're honoring Major Adams as well. Thank you all for coming.
I invited Joe Engel, the only remaining pilot of the X-15 program of the 12, to be with us today, but unfortunately scheduling conflicts precluded his being here with us today. However, he did send us a letter to share with you all today, so Joe is definitely here in spirit. His letter is specifically addressed to Rob Enriquez, and I would like to read it to all of you right now. Dear Rob, please accept my sincere thanks for your hard work and focused efforts in the thoughtful maintenance and planned tasteful expansion and improvements you have so carefully contributed to Mike Adams and the X-15 Memorial Site. Under your meaningful guidance and actions, the memorial will become a tribute not just to Mike and the X-15, but will honor all the X-planes and the pilots who lost their lives in the pursuit of expanding our knowledge of the flight envelope. This memorial is and will continue to be a fitting tribute to their many contributions to aviation. Thank you for your leadership, hands-on work, and vision for this memorial. Good flying. Signed, Joe H. Engel, Major General, retired, U.S. Air Force, X-15 pilot. Rob, could I ask you to come back up here for a moment? Bob has the letter that I would like to have him present to you. Thank you, Rob, for all you've done out here.
No, thank you guys. This was a labor of love. Best thing I could ever done for Mike. You know, let's keep his spirit alive. Let's see this happen in 100 years. How's that? Right?
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Rob. And enjoy the letter. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate you bringing that out here. I would also like now to open up the presentation and ask if anyone here would like to take the opportunity to share your thoughts on Mike Adams and the X-15. Anyone who possibly worked on it, or is a member of the family, or just a member of the audience. Would anybody like to come up and say anything about Mike? Brent, would you like to say anything? We'd love to have you say something. Yeah.
I'm not a good speaker, but yeah, it's an honor to be here today. I wouldn't have missed it. My cousin and his wife came up from the Tahoe area, but I just, I don't know what to say really. It's just an honor to be here, and I can't believe all these people think about this.
Absolutely.
But thank you.
Thank you, Brent. Appreciate it. Charlie, you want to say a few words? Oh, okay. I understand. But if you want to give it a shot.
Yeah, I'm Charlie Baker, and I had the pleasure of working with Mike. I checked him out in the cockpit when they first come onto the project, and got to know him pretty well. And this spot here is the greatest thing in the world for me, but because we lost an awful good guy. And I just can't believe that the X-15 and Mike and everything is still drawing the audience that they do. And it's a great honor for Mike to, and I appreciate being here.
Thank you. What was your job on the X-15?
I was a crew chief of the X-15. And my ops engineer is standing right over there.
Oh, wow, cool.
And Dave was head of the rocket shop, and he took care of the engine. Yeah. We were a nice little team, a family. And you worked on them all, but you knew all the pilots. You rubbed arms, and you rubbed in, you lived together because and it was a glorious thing until this day. And when you lose one of your family, you lose part of yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you talked me to coming, but I didn't really want it.
No problem. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you. Vince, did you want
Charlie said. And I commented to Michelle a little while ago that I remember talking with Mike about trout fishing, and he described a favorite place in southern Utah he liked to go, and it kind of made me want to go there. But anyway, I can't really add much to what Charlie said.
Thank you, Vince. Another guy who kept those X-15s flying. Okay, anybody else would like to say anything? Okay. Sure. Oh, it'd be great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, my name's David Adams, and I'm Brent's cousin. It was Mike's nephew. My dad and Mike were brothers. So, this is truly a very cool thing to have happen. We were here when the original dedication opened in 204, and that was pretty special. I think my impressions, I was 6 years old when he, we went down to Edwards. I'll tell you a short story. We went to Edwards when we were, I was 6. That was 1966, and we visited. And Mike, I just remember very vividly. I was just talking with Brent today, and it's so vivid. I don't know why, but it was such an amazing thing. We went onto the base with a little 6-year-old kid running around. So my brother and Brent and Mike and he took us on a fantastic tour. We went to the hangar. All 3 X-15s were lined up there in the hangar. We got to go up and we sat down inside them. These little kids, and just remember walking beneath the B-52 as we entered the area, and it was so just amazing, inspiring. Just to have done that. And why I remember that so vividly, it really left an impression on me. Because I don't remember a lot when I was 6 years old. But that I do remember. Just incredible. So, as a personal recollection of Uncle Mike was, I just remember, like it says on the board here, is even at 6 years old, I could tell he was kind of a quiet guy. Didn't speak his mind as far as, not too much conversation that was extraneous. It was just you. He seemed almost a little bit aloof, at times, but that's just the way he was. But he did have a sense of humor, I remember, even at 6 years old, because I had an event when we were staying at their house, and why I remember this, I don't know. He short-sheeted me in the bed one night. Can you believe that? So here I am, a 6-year-old kid, and him and my dad probably got together and go, okay, let's short-sheet your son. Okay? And I crawl into bed and trying to poke my legs down there, and I was squirming to the point, it was just, and I still couldn't figure it out, and I was so upset, and they were just over there laughing. I'm like, what are you laughing at? Anyway, he had an amazing sense of humor in that way. But and the other cool thing that I think about of these pilots is the time they were flying seemed, and books I've read, is so much more, it was so exciting, such an amazing time. It was like there were less rules. They could kind of do what they wanted to some extent. It was very kind of more fly by the seat of your pants and just, let's push the envelope and break a few rules and do these things. So it was, they were lucky to have been able to do that. But anyway, those are my memories. I've got more, but just thank you all for showing your support for this.
Thank you. Really appreciate that. Would anybody else like to say anything? Well, thank you all. Frazier was the man who first convinced John Bodylski that creating this monument to Mike Adams was a great community project for his Eagle Scout badge. I would like to ask Greg to come up and speak a few words. Where's Greg? Right here. Ah, there you are. There you are.
I first got involved in working this debris field from an archaeological perspective about 25 years ago. And as a result, I had the good fortune of meeting a whole lot of folks in the X-15 program. many of whom are here today, others who are no longer with us. But I did have the good fortune of meeting many of the pilots who worked on the program. And one day when I was speaking to Pete Knight, he was our state senator right here where we're standing back in the day. And I was speaking to Mr. Knight about what we were doing out here, and he told me a story about Mike that I thought I ought to tell you. So Mike was assigned to Edwards and had to leave town for a few days, TDY, to take care of some business, and he asked Pete to go over to his house and water his house plants for him while he was gone. So Pete went over to the house, got the water bucket out, and walked around, and every plant in the house was plastic. Pete just said that guy had a dry sense of humor. No, it's been a joy working on this program. I would like to also introduce some other people who are somewhat associated with this program as far as the world of aerospace archaeology goes. We have Mr. Richard Russell. Where's Richard?
I'm down here.
He's down there photographing. We have the godfather of aviation archaeology, Mr. Tom Rosquin, and his wife Linda over here. These people were instrumental on this being here. It wouldn't be here if we weren't out here working on it. So thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you all for coming out today.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Greg, and thank you to everyone who's had a hand in creating and expanding this monument to Michael Adams over the past 13 years. It's just amazing to think it's been 13 years since this was first dedicated. I would like to invite everyone to join us at 3 p.m. this afternoon at the Randsburg Opera House, where I will present my talk on Mike Adams entitled In the Line of Duty, Michael Adams and the X-15. And this is a free event, so I hope you'll come down to the Opera House at that time and join us. And please always hold the memory of Major Michael J. Adams, who died in the line of duty, expanding the boundaries of exploration and benefiting all of us in his sacrifice. Thank you for being here today in his honor. I encourage everyone to explore the monument site and have some wonderful food, which has been catered here for us today by Domingo Gutierrez. One of the reasons we wanted to do that is because, as many of you know, Michael Adams just loved being outdoors. So we wanted to do something. This is our way of honoring Mike by having this gathering here and having a really great little bunch of food here from Domingo for everybody. So please enjoy the rest of the day here, and I hope you'll come down and join us at Randsburg Opera House later. Thank you to all who came up and spoke, and all of you who came all the way out here into the middle of nowhere to honor Mike today. Thank you all.